Hi, I'm dating expert Hayley Quinn, and it is my super pleasure and delight to bring you a new interview series that I'm doing, and this one is on mindset hacks. So if you're listening to this and you often have problems with self-expression, with connection, with limiting beliefs, with fears that basically hold you back from taking the action that you want in your life, then I would advise you to stay tuned. It is my delight and pleasure to be joined by an extremely wise coach who I have the privilege of working with on some of my training courses. He's also basically a dear friend and someone I would 100% ring up if I need advice, which does happen. It's Mr. Ashley Lloyd-Shaw.
Thank you.
So, my pleasure. So actually, Ashley and I, we've known each other for a long time.
7, 8 years, probably. Well, as in when we first kind of met.
We met on the, is it okay to say streets of London?
You can say whatever you want, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine, I'm nothing to hide.
We met on the streets of London where we both worked for a very well-known pickup artist company at the time. And we were two coaches, and we basically spent probably 6 to 8 hours a day taking out a guy, trying to get him to improve how he met women.
Yep.
And as the years went by, we somehow found ourselves reconnecting. Obviously, by that point, I'd formed my own business, and some things had changed.
It was actually at Bruce's wedding.
Oh my God, we met. That's a good story, isn't it?
Yeah.
We re-met at a former client's wedding, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So to begin with, just to give people something to start with, is there one? Maybe I should have prepped you for this. Is there one like resounding piece of advice that's in your mind that you think is important for people when they're trying to get better at dating, which feels like something you might not? How do you get better at something that's so much about fate, that's about human connection? How can you find and how can you take more responsibility, I guess?
So like the one kind of thing.
One thing.
The first thing that kind of popped in to my mind, but let me just make sure that's what I want to go with. Yeah. And it kind of like can ripple effect in life. It's not just with dating. I would say as much as you can to not stress, to not worry. Like that is one of the key things I would say, because as soon as you have that in your space, in your mind, you've got all this muck. And then with whatever you then do, it's going to be impacted by that kind of worry and stress. I would say I'm kind of like a firm believer, more so as I've got older in life, to not stress and to not worry, because I know what it's like to worry and stress a lot over loads of different things and have to try and figure out every single piece of detail, try and control everything. That's
like a lot of what people experience before they go over and say hello to someone, right? They
Yes.
try and think, how do I get every detail of my performance around this perfect, because I don't want to be rejected by that person.
Right.
And to me, that whole way of looking at the human interaction, you're starting in the wrong place. Because I think when a person doesn't react to us, whether this is like, I don't know, some guy disappears on you after you've had a few dates with him, or a guy who's approaching a woman and she doesn't immediately react with like positivity and a smile, that's a lot of the time that's actually not too much to do with you. It's to do with the state of mind that this person is in.
It's kind of like it's an automatic response that they've just learned over their lifespan in regards to those particular scenarios. So most of the time, their first reactions really aren't anything to do with you. It's just this is how I normally react in this scenario.
And I can understand like where I think a lot of the guys particularly, they really fear that moment where a woman is like,
Yeah, that look. Yeah. That look.
That's the look, right?
Yeah.
So when you're working with guys, how do you get them to like, I guess, because it's handle the fact that she's giving that look. Because obviously we like to try and coach a balance here where it's like, okay, we're respectful individuals and we take on board when people say no, and we take on board people's reactions. But also, how do we get that so people can express themselves? Because I think a lot of the time when the woman gives that, she doesn't
close down and you want to.
Yeah, and she might not know why the guy is trying to communicate with her, right? And what the guy's about.
100%, yeah. Usually if I'm working with a client and I see that happen, because I always like to ask, like, why did you leave? Because majority of the time, it's like the person I've worked with who's chosen to leave. because of they got in their head, they weren't sure what to do next, blah,
And
blah,
by
blah,
say
blah,
leave,
blah.
you mean leave the interaction.
Leave the interaction,
They've gone up
right.
to, the man usually has gone
Yeah.
up to the woman.
Yeah.
She's done that, and he's gone,
Exactly.
I'm peacing out.
Yeah. So then I asked the question, did you deliver what it was that you wanted to say? And probably 70%, I'm throwing that out there, that's not even, I don't even know, I'm just making it up.
You don't
But
appear
it's a
to
high
me-
percentage.
You're a man of philosophy, not statistics, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a high percentage though that a guy will come back and say, no, he didn't deliver all of what he wanted to say. So I always then say, okay, that's what you're accountable for. That is the action you are to take, because she has no idea why you are approaching her.
How do you know what he's thinking or feeling here? And what's the worst that can happen? Like, you send him a message, he doesn't get back to you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, at least then you know.
Right.
I'd rather know and go like, okay, he's not open to that, that's fine, I'm not going to
Yeah.
even take it personally. And then move on to meet all of the other people you can meet, rather than being like, oh, the man has to make every move.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's not how dating is. I don't think it's how it ever was, and I think it's especially not how it is in 2018. Before we wrap, I want to give a quick shout out because you are head group coaching chat WhatsApp thread group message runner, and you're such an active coach with Academy. Academy is my our 12-week training course. We developed it because we wanted to give an option to guys that wasn't just one week, one intensive weekend, but to give weeks of development, because I think these skills and mindsets take time to implement. Yeah. Ashley, you've been instrumental in both the live training, and we have live training options if you can get to London, or also we work with guys who are just doing the online only academy, and they are from literally all around the world. Yeah. And Ashley is one of the guys that gets up early to do the group coaching call to Australia at 7 a.m.
It's such a real privilege, and it was never something that I was like, that's what I want to do, because like acting is one of my main important things in my life. But this has been such a blessing that's also come up for me, and be able to work with people and support them and encourage them in basically in life and what they want. And and without maybe clients realizing it as well, I get a lot from it, from the sessions too as well, because it's a give and take, just from a different angle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's so rewarding.
And the guys we have are amazing. They're from all around the world. If you want to find out more details, I'm going to put a link to hayleyquinn.com/academy. We run 2-3 academies a year. They are getting really popular, so check it out. And also, Ashley, if you've loved hearing to his wisdom, and just his voice is quite nice. Ashley also has a podcast. Where can they find out about that? And I'll put a link beneath the video.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can go to. Should I look at the camera? I'll just keep looking at you.
I don't know where we're looking.
Basically, you can go,
This one.
basically you can go to jsaudios.com.